In recognition of Women's History Month, we want to celebrate their stories and achievements. Women are in every sector of our society, improving the daily lives of all South Carolinians. Leading businesses and organizations that empower people.
And that's a message that we're driving still to this day. Having the compassion to work with people of different cultures. No culture is identical. And as a commission, our job is to be able to relay that information to the public, to other state agencies, letting them know that in order to communicate or to serve these different populations, you have to understand their language.
That's right.
You have to understand their culture, their beliefs, and it cannot be ignored if we are to close the gaps.
That's right.
Building relationships and connecting with those in need.
You know, I never was more proud to be Latina than in that period of time and since, because, man, there was something about looking at a person in the eyes that you know that you just saw picking lettuce, right? Getting the lettuce onto that truck in the way that they do it, right? It's like this rhythmic, kind of dance that they're doing in the fields.
Yeah.
And then looking at them and going, I'm sorry, what do you mean you're not getting paid enough money and you need some food? You're on a farm. So it was an opportunity to reach out to CMA and say, Yvonne, what do we do about this? Who do you know? Because I need to know who you know. And it really leveled us up in the eyes of those that need to know so that they can continue to fund and say, now we get it. Now we understand.
Shaping the future by educating our youth.
I love teaching. I teach undergraduates and I also teach graduate students in the MFA program at the University of South Carolina. And those are two different worlds, and I love how different they are. And I love what I find out about what's happening in the high school before they get to me, right? And what's happening in the community. I had a class that I was teaching on Black women writers, and I had, for the first time being in South Carolina, 10 young Black women in my class. I walked into class, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. You don't get that many young Black students in a writing class. I don't typically at the University of South Carolina. It was an even almost 10, maybe 10 white students and 10 Black students. We had the best semester, and half of those young Black women decided in that course that they wanted to go on to graduate school. We weren't talking about graduate school, but they got something in their spine that they recognized and realized that they had not gotten from another class, and they understood the power of what they were, what was revealed to them. And that I'll never forget. That was probably 2019, right before the pandemic, and it was a special class. It was a really special class.
And breaking barriers by serving our communities with the resources needed throughout South Carolina.
We try to help those who cannot find the resources through traditional means, like the disadvantaged small businesses. They can't walk into a bank to get a loan, but we have partners who could help build these businesses and get them the financial support that they need to grow their businesses. We do the same with nonprofits who are trying to identify funding for their organizations. We can help with researching, and we can help them. We don't want to get into the habit of writing their grants for them. What we want to do is teach people to do it and what the requirements are when applying for grants and what they need to do.
Absolutely.
We need to be more vigilant than ever, and we need to reach across the aisle and create partnerships in areas and with those that we never thought about creating partnerships. Regardless of what our core beliefs are, we know that everyone gets up every day to do better, not to do worse. For the most part, we all get up We all brush our teeth the same way. We all, shower, dress, cologne prayerfully,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
you get dressed the same way.
In that order.
And
Yes.
and you want to do better today than you did yesterday.
Absolutely.
Those are the people that we need to remind, hey, let's work together on this particular issue because it benefits us. When it benefits the economic growth, then you're talking about our educational growth, because the kids have to be in class to be counted in order to get that federal funding.
That's right.
Then that impacts our property taxes.
Yeah.
Those property taxes impact our infrastructure. Our infrastructure impacts how many construction workers we have out there fixing and repairing. And, when you start hitting a pothole, all of a sudden, people are interested.
Right.
Right. So I think that it just means that we need to work even harder. And, Latino community development and CMA, we go back a ways. I tell you, we couldn't have done a lot of the work that we've done in the past without the support, not only the emotional and the spiritual, girl, I'm gonna say a prayer for you because I know that this is a rough part for you,
Mhm.
but also the financial, putting money where your mouth is and saying, I didn't know that you guys were doing that. Let us help
That's right.
so that we can further this mission, this cause. So we have a great relationship. We've been at it now for several years.
Dr. DaCosta was a guest speaker at a gala, at our last gala, and her speech really encouraged us, or continued the encouragement that the organization felt coming from your office. It was really, it spurred us on to really broaden and bridge the gaps between communities. It was wonderful to have that recognition. It was wonderful for her to take the time to come and talk to our community. It was very, very, we received it with a lot of gratitude.
I'm glad. And that's the entire reason why this show exists. It really came out of the vision of our executive director, and that is our vision. That's our thing, to build bridges, close gaps within ethnic minority communities, including for Filipino Americans here in South Carolina.
To view the full interviews of these accomplished women, check out the links in our description or subscribe to our Culture Connect playlist. Find out how these community leaders continue to foster change, support others, and share their knowledge throughout South Carolina.